You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps and standing updates from Tuesday, April the 7th, 2020. Starting in the American League East, the Rays and Red Sox played each other, featuring two of their top rotation arms. Blake Snell against Nathan Eovaldi. Snell got the win on the mound thanks to the Rays getting 4 runs in the 7th inning. Red Sox could not come back in the 9th despite scoring 2 runs. Snell gets his first win of the 2020 season. Eovaldi now 0-2. And Colin Poche, although he's not the closer, gets his first save of the year with the Rays. One of our games of the day here on Major League Baseball's virtual network, the New York Yankees beat the Baltimore Orioles 3-0, another AL East game. Garrett Cole threw a complete game shutout, striking out 11 and giving up 2 hits and 2 walks in his win. In 3 starts, he now has a 1-0 decision. John Means got the loss. He gave up 2 runs in the 5th inning. An American League game featuring the Seattle Mariners and the Chicago White Sox. The Mariners, though still toward the bottom of the AL West, climb a little bit higher after beating a hot White Sox team 4-3. White Sox still around the top of the AL Central because of the Indians' loss today, and we'll get to that a little bit later. An AL Central matchup featuring the 2 bottom teams in the AL Central, the Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers. Jesse Hahn got the win out of the bullpen, and that's mainly because Jorge Lopez got injured. He'll be out for a few days with a sprained elbow. But Hahn now with 2 wins on the year. Matthew Boyd, Tigers starter, is now 0-3 on the season in his starts. And Ian Kennedy, 2 straight saves. Now he has 3 on the season with the Royals as their closer. Another AL Central game, the Twins and Indians played at Target Field. The Twins were able to come out and win 6-5 and scored all their runs in the 7th inning. Fernando Romero gets his first win out of the bullpen. Oliver Perez hit with the loss. Taylor Rogers, who's been a little streaky this year in terms of his save opportunities, got the save in this game, and he has 4 now on the season. Moving to the AL West, the Oakland Athletics beat the Los Angeles Angels 4-1. Jesus Luzardo gets his first win of 2020 as one of the newer members of the Athletics rotation. Andrew Heaney has a loss now on the year, and Liam Hendricks, another save for him. He's got 4 on the year. Despite the Angels getting 9 hits, they were only able to score 1 run, and the Athletics rather efficient in their run production, 4 runs on 6 hits. An interleague matchup between the New York Mets and the Houston Astros featured quite a bit of offense. The Mets 9 runs on 17 hits. The Astros 7 runs on 10 hits. Edwin Diaz got the save out of the bullpen. He's trying to rebound after losing his closer's job on the Mets team last season. Padres and Braves, and it seems like the Padres cannot be stopped, winning again thanks to Drew Pomeranz coming out and throwing well as the starter of this team. Shane Green got the loss. He's now 1-2. That's him out of the bullpen. And Craig Stammen, not the closer, but comes in and locks down a save anyway for the Padres, who continue to stay at the top of the NL West. They've got 10 wins now on the season. Our other game of the day here on Major League Baseball's virtual network feature the Nationals and the Marlins. The Nationals were able to score in the 6th inning thanks to Eric Thames hitting a sacrifice fly. They were able to win 2-1 despite the Marlins getting 9 hits. Steven Strasburg earns the win. Sandy Alcantara now 0-1. He got the loss, giving up both earned runs to the Nats. And Sean Doolittle now has 5 saves on the season. Another interleague game that featured the Philadelphia Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays. Quite simply, the Phillies won 2-0. And Zach Wheeler pitched a complete game shutout on all 9 innings and really earned himself his first winning decision of the season on the mound. Moving to the NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers beat the Cincinnati Reds again. And the Brewers will continue to climb in the NL Central standings. The Reds staying toward the bottom. Josh Hader, 6 saves on the year already with the Brewers. And we'll check in to see that the Reds are further down and where the Brewers stand after we go through the rest of the recaps. Another impactful game in the NL Central. The Chicago Cubs beat the Pittsburgh Pirates again. This game decided by the bullpen. And it made it to extras. The Pirates scored first, but the Cubs rallied in the ninth to get a run. And this game took 11 innings to decide it. The Cubs won with 3 runs on 12 hits. And despite making 2 errors, the Pirates could only score 1 run on 4 hits. Dodgers and Cardinals played each other again, and the Cardinals won 3-1. Jack Flaherty, hot start to the year for him. He's 3-0 in his decisions. Clayton Kershaw, the ace of the Dodgers, 0-2 to start 2020, and Giovanni Gallegos, 5 saves on the year for the Cardinals. The Rockies beat the Rangers 11-2. These guys are on a losing streak that they have now broken, and broken in a large way. German Marquez got the win. Corey Kluber got hit with the loss, and the Rockies were able to score 7 runs in that 6th inning, and they won 11-2. And an NL West specific game that featured the Diamondbacks and the Giants. The Diamondbacks put up a 4-run 7th inning that allowed them to carry some insurance, 6 runs of insurance to be exact, into the later stages of this game. They were able to win 6-0. Robbie Ray gets a win. Johnny Cueto gets a loss. They each have a 2-1 decision now in 2020. Let's check out the standings so far in 2020. Most teams have reached 10 games by now, so here they are, starting in the American League East. The New York Yankees, 7-4 after beating the Orioles, stay at the top of the division. The Blue Jays lost to the Phillies. They're 6-6, now on a 2-game losing streak, 1.5 games back of the division lead. The Baltimore Orioles lost to the New York Yankees today and are 5-6 now, tied with the Rays, who are 5-6. The Rays got a win today against the Red Sox. They're on a 3-game winning streak and 2 games back of the division. And the Boston Red Sox, one of the first teams to 10 losses on a 5-game losing streak, 5.5 games back of the division lead in last place. Might be missing Betts, Price, and Sale right now. Moving to the AL Central. Despite the White Sox losing today to the Mariners, White Sox 8-3 now, and they're still at the top of the AL Central. The Minnesota Twins and Cleveland Indians, each now with a 7-5 record, 1.5 games back of the division. The Twins on a 2-game winning streak after beating the Indians today, and the Indians now on a 3-game losing streak, and the AL Central race getting a bit tighter early in the season. The Kansas City Royals on a 2-game winning streak now after beating the Tigers. They're 5-5. 2.5 games back. They started the year winless, but made their way back and made ends meet with a .500 winning percentage. Tigers on a 2-game losing streak now and are 2-9, 6 games back of the division lead. To the American League West, the Athletics, with a win today, are now 7-5. They beat the Angels today. On a 3-game winning streak, they have taken the division lead from the Rangers and Astros, who are now tied for second, a half game back of the West. The Mariners beat the White Sox today, broke their losing streak. They're 5-7, and shows you how the divisions can get mixed up early in the year. The Angels, who were hovering around 3rd place, are now in last place after losing 3 straight. They're 4-8, 3 games out of the division lead. As wildcard standings continue to form, they're not quite definite yet or really that important, but here's a visual on where some teams stand. And now onto the National League. The Philadelphia Phillies in the National League East, well, they lead that division. 8-4 record on a 2-game winning streak now after beating the Blue Jays and the Nationals broke a losing streak. They beat the Miami Marlins today. They're now 7-4 and a half game back of the division. The Marlins, who lost to the Nationals today, one full game back of the division lead with a 7-5 record. And they're still half rebuilding, but have found some success. It's still intriguing to see if they can keep this pace up with the division. The Braves have now lost 3 straight games. Their most recent losses coming to the San Diego Padres, who have been red hot these last 2 weeks. The Braves now 5-7 and 3 games back in the division. The Braves, the reigning NL East champions. And then the Mets won a game today against the Astros, but still at the bottom of the East, 4 games back of the division lead. The NL Central beginning to take some form. The Cardinals with a definitive 8-3 record, definitive lead in the NL Central. 4-game winning streak they're on. Trailed by 1 game to the Brewers and the Cubs, each with 7-4 records and each amounting their own winning streak. Then you have the Pirates on a 2-game losing streak right now. Lost their last 2 games to the Cubs. And the Pirates now 5-6, 3 games back of the division lead. And then you have the Cincinnati Reds, have lost 4 straight now. They were losing momentum. 3-8 record for them, 5 games back from the division lead. And to the National League West. The first team to 10 wins, it's the San Diego Padres, 10-2 record. They've won 6 in a row now, most recently beating the Braves. They're at the top of the NL West. The San Francisco Giants have now lost 2 straight to the Diamondbacks. They're now 6-5, 3.5 games back of a division lead. The reigning 7-time in a row National League West champion Los Angeles Dodgers, 5-6 to start the year in their first 11 games. 3-game losing streak for them, 4.5 games back of the division lead. The Arizona Diamondbacks have now won 3 straight, beating the Giants in their last 2 games. 5-7 is their record. They're 5 games back of the division. And the Rockies were able to win a game today, but they're still 2-9 on the year. They beat the Rangers in interleague play. Still 2-9, 7.5 games back. And these large game back numbers in the NL West are just a demonstration of how dominant the Padres have been and how the Padres have separated themselves not only in the division, but in the entire National League. Wildcard standings still developing. Nothing too prominent is forming yet, but those are where your wildcard standings are in the National League. These have been your game recaps and standing updates from Tuesday, April the 7th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.